There are moments in time when the veil separating past from present seems to flutter, just briefly, exposing something inexplicable. In such moments, people report seeing cobbled streets where there are none, hearing old voices on silent ground, or even speaking with figures dressed in fashions from centuries gone. These incidents, often termed time slips, have been whispered about across generations, defying logic, science, and conventional understanding. The concept is not modern. Ancient myths in Celtic and Norse cultures describe otherworldly realms where time passes differently. A day among the Fae might equal 100 years in the mortal realm. In Buddhist lore, entire lifetimes are said to pass during a moment of meditation. The idea that time could stutter, warp, or momentarily unspool has always fascinated humanity. But what makes modern time slips particularly disquieting is that many occur to ordinary people in supermarkets, along quiet country roads, or in bustling cities with no preparation, no warning, and often no clear exit. Unlike fictional portrayals of time travel, where a machine or device controls the journey, time slips are spontaneous and disorienting. They do not obey physics as we know it. They are elusive, yet disturbingly personal, and they raise questions about the very fabric of time, space, and consciousness. Among the most discussed cases is that of two English women, Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, who, in 1901, while walking through the gardens of Versailles, claims to have stepped into a scene from the late 1700s. They later identified one of the people they saw as Marie Antoinette. Their account, published as an adventure, became a sensation and remains one of the earliest documented time slip cases. In Liverpool, England, a city with an unusually high number of time slip reports, a man named Frank was shopping on Bold Street in the 1990s when he claimed the entire street suddenly changed. The vehicles disappeared, shop fronts altered, and people wore clothing from the 1950s. After a few minutes, the scene reverted to the present day. Frank was later able to verify that the store he thought he saw had, in fact, existed decades earlier. In a more recent case from 2006, an airman named Sergeant Carlton experienced what he described as time folding in on itself while at RAF Drem in Scotland. He claimed he walked across the base and found himself in what looked like its World War II to era operations. Everything from uniforms to aircraft matched the period. Then, as suddenly as it began, the vision vanished. Mainstream physics treats time as a dimension akin to space, something that can be measured, possibly even traveled through under extreme conditions. Einstein's theory of relativity opened the door to time dilation, where time slows down near light speed or intense gravity. But time slips are not gradual distortions, they are sudden, personal, and unplanned. Some theorists look to quantum mechanics for answers. Concepts such as superposition and entanglement suggest that multiple states or timelines might coexist. Could a time slip be a momentary overlap of parallel dimensions? Some suggest that consciousness, not machinery, may be the key, that our perception of time is more fluid than we think, and under certain neurological or energetic conditions, the mind might tune into a different frequency. One fringe hypothesis involves geomagnetic anomalies. Places with unusual magnetic fields, like the area near Bold Street or parts of the Nevada desert, may interfere with human perception or time itself. Though not proven, it aligns with the idea that certain spots on Earth are more permeable to temporal anomalies. In ancient Rome, Pliny the Elder recorded tales of soldiers marching through mountain passes and encountering phantoms that later aligned with long-past battalions. Medieval chronicles also speak of monks who vanished during prayer, only to reappear days or even years later, unchanged and confused. In China's Tang dynasty, a tale is told of a man named Wang who drank wine in a forest, met strangers who led him to a celebration, and when he returned, a century had passed. Though often viewed as folklore, such stories echo the themes found in modern time slip accounts: missing time, altered perception, and disconnection from the present. Certain locations seem to attract these experiences. Bold Street in Liverpool is a known hotspot, as are parts of Versailles, the town of Versailles in Suffolk, and even certain streets in Edinburgh and Paris. Outside Europe, places like the Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina or the forests of Aokigahara in Japan have their own localized stories of time disorientation. What's common in many of these locations is a blend of history, emotional charge, and sometimes geomagnetic anomalies. Some researchers theorize that historical trauma, such as battlefield deaths, mass executions, or ritual sacrifice, may imprint time into the geography, creating echoes or overlays that occasionally slip into visibility. Déjà vu is often brushed off as a psychological quirk, but some believe it is tied to the same mechanisms that produce time slips. Perhaps the brain momentarily perceives a timeline it is not currently occupying. Similarly, the Mandela Effect, a mass misremembering of events or facts, has been proposed as evidence of timeline shifts or parallel reality bleeding. If time is not a fixed arrow but a dynamic loop, then it's plausible that fragments of other versions of reality may leak into our consciousness. This would explain the eerie familiarity of some time-slip locations or the confusion experienced when memory and present reality diverge. While most time-slip experiences are brief and benign, some individuals report lasting psychological effects, disorientation, anxiety, sleep disruption, or obsessive thoughts. In rarer cases, there are claims of nosebleeds, fainting, or altered sensory perception. There is also the existential danger. Witnessing time malfunction can destabilize a person's belief in reality. If the structure of time is not dependable, then memory, identity, and causality come into question. Some who've experienced time slips report a lingering sense of detachment from the world, as though reality is thinner than it once was. It's crucial to distinguish time slips from the idea of deliberate time travel. The latter implies control, machines, portals, and intent. Time slips, on the other hand, are accidental and often one-directional. You arrive uninvited, stay momentarily, and return as suddenly as you left, often without explanation. Time travel remains a theoretical construct, limited by paradoxes and physical constraints. Time slips appear anecdotal, psychological, and often unrepeatable. Yet they may offer clues to how time functions on a deeper, less understood level, suggesting it's not linear, but perhaps layered or recursive. In myth, time slips appear disguised as divine punishments or blessings. In Christianity, the story of Lot's wife frozen in time for looking back can be seen as a metaphor for stepping outside the temporal flow. In Islamic belief, the concept of barzakh suggests a veil between dimensions, sometimes crossed accidentally by those spiritually attuned. In African traditions, ancestral spirits are said to walk among the living during specific rituals. Time becomes flexible during these moments. Similarly, shamanic journeys in Amazonian and Siberian cultures often involve transcendence of time and space, blurring the line between past, present, and future. What are time slips? Are they malfunctions in perception, momentary overlaps of dimensions, or echoes recorded into the fabric of the earth? For now, they remain anecdotal, unreliable, difficult to replicate, yet too numerous and consistent to ignore. The stories span continents, centuries, and cultures. They affect ordinary people with no prior belief in the paranormal. And while science has yet to provide definitive answers, the consistency of detail, location, and emotional impact suggests that time slips deserve deeper investigation, not as fantasy, but as a genuine mystery of human experience. In summary, time slips are consistently reported across diverse cultures and historical periods. Locations with high emotional or historical significance are more prone to such events. Theories range from quantum physics to geomagnetic interference and neurological phenomena. Experiences share common elements: sudden onset, visual and auditory shifts, and abrupt endings. There is no conclusive evidence, but the volume and coherence of reports suggest time slips may be more than hallucination. However, unanswered questions remain. Are time slips internal brain events or external environmental phenomena? Why do some locations generate more reports than others? Can time slips be triggered or predicted under controlled conditions? While much remains speculative, the phenomenon offers fertile ground for both scientific inquiry and philosophical reflection.